Bueno, muchísimas gracias, Máximo, y un saludo muy cálido para Teresa. Sinceramente, había pensado en hacer esta presentación en inglés, dado también el carácter internacional del evento. Sin embargo, no quería dejarle de saludar en esta lengua que tenemos en común. Así que bueno, gracias también, Máximo, por las gentiles palabras de la presentación. Así que voy a pasar directamente al inglés y muy brevemente voy a presentarle este número. So I switched to English and I'd like to present to you this number that we just finished. It's going to be online if everything is fine by June 2021. The main topic of the publishing is the digital Latin American phase, and as already mentioned by Professor Massimo Leone, is directed by Jose Enrique FINOL, Professor Massimo Leone, and I myself. So maybe one first question that rises from the topic is, what does it mean to speak about Latin American phase? Because we can ask ourselves if aren't the biological or social or cultural representation of phases in Latin America different or similar to other phases in other continents? And maybe another question that can arise is if this underlining the peculiarity, the geotopic peculiarity of the phase doesn't expose us to the risk of attributing an artificial essence to a set of prejudice and stereotypes. These were the first questions that marked the publication, and we try to answer to them thinking that the phase is a complex object, complex even from the same linguistic definition, because there are different lexemes in every language, in Italian, in Spanish, but in English too, that we can use to refer to face, countenance, visage, even though if at a simple or superficial view, we can think about them as synonymy. They designate different nuances and different meaning, different senses of the face. So the challenge of the number of this publication was great, and we chose to emphasize the cultural dimension because what we try to understand is how the faces can cease to be a collection of biological cells and become a hive of semiotic cells. And so we try to figure out how in the face we can assist to reconfiguration of signs, discourses, texts that overlap themselves through times and space. So our faces, we know from our more familiar and domestic dimension, are constantly mutating in semiotic swarms, but they are not amorphous. So the hypothesis that underlie the issue was that a semiosphere so problematic and conflictive as the one of Latin America probably was capable to figure out how faces often become images of domination and power, and at the same time of rescue and liberation, because faces presents a very paradox of the individual and the collective feature. So in this physiognomy, that even though we can think that is imposed by the globalization of the digital capital, we try to figure out how there are some signs that can rearticulate or rewrite social cultural laws, visual partner, technology, also marked by digital communication. So we invited a quite big number of experts from different semiotic disciplinary application. We are really happy because there is an all first section of the number, where the authors are those semioticians that today are really marking the disciplinary field. So the volume opens up with the contribution of José Enrique FINOL and David Enrique FINOL, where they reflect on the concept of their own knowledge, which is rostrosphere. Second text is presented by Patrizia Magli, who maybe first inaugurated this topic of the face in semiotic. Then follows another article by Alfredo Cid Jurado, always interested in physiognomic and the reflection of how physiognomic understood with a semiotic perspective can be useful for understanding visual culture. Then it follows a second part of the digitalization of the face. So there is a first work written by Martina Sepal and I myself that reflects on the incorporation of facial recognition technology in Brazilian evangelical liturgical context, where then it follows a work by maybe one of the most representative authors that deals with the mediatization, who is José Luis Fernandez, who reflects on the indexicality of the voice in media platform. Then we have another essay presented by Juan Ramirez Martinez, who investigates the role of the face in the Cuban iconosphere. And we are really proud of having also some topics starting from coming from the Caribbean. And then we have another essay from Camila Sintra, Lucia Santaella. Also, of course, Lucia Santaella had to be present in this number. And they reflect with the aesthetic standardization of female face in Instagram, and understanding a fashion mimetic vocation that is not without concern. And then we have another contribution by Gabriela Reinaldo, another contribution in Portuguese that reflects also with the temporary facial changes. Then it follows a third section of the volume that covers the socio-cultural dimension of the digitalized face in Latin America. And it covers the entire region because it goes from Mexico to Argentina, passing through the Caribbean. So the section opened with Bruno Surace essays that analyze the Cuban short film El Automata. Then it follows by another contribution by Julia Cratie, who reflects on a film by Santiago Losa, the Argentinian filmmaker. And the essay is an occasion to think about the social cultural, the social sexual, maybe better to say, facialization, the social sexual facialization of the feet of a dancer. Then we have another contribution that reflects on the Argentinian trap scene with the analysis of an Instagram channel by Emiliano Vargas. Then we have another contribution by Sophie Dufais, who analyzes the photographs of the 43 missing students from the Ayotzinapa Normal School in Mexico. And the last two contributions also tries to underline the importance of the reflection on the digitalization of the Latin American face in the digital iconosphere. And these are the contribution of Rocco Mangieri, who compares two example of maybe the most emblematic Latin American patriotic faces, those of José de San Martín and Simón Bolívar. And then the issue closes with an article by Karina Abdallah, in which she analyzes the representation of the face in the reality show MasterChef in its Brazilian and Uruguayan editions. So we are really happy and proud, I can say, about the number, and the online venture will be published soon, as I told you, in June. So we definitely invite you to have a look to this new publishing of DeSIGNIS. Thanks.
Gracias, Cristina. Thank you very much.